Babe, how much did we make today?
5 million.
How much did we lose today?
$1 billion.
And yesterday?
4 million.
And yesterday?
$1 billion.
Yeah.
We're like really rich.
It's the story of the first meme stock. Think back to the height of the pandemic, a stock that you might never have heard of started rising to the moon. GameStop. Wall Street wasn't buying it. Institutional investors were betting against it. But the amateurs, well, they were all in, and they made dumb money. That's now a movie that premiered at TIFF. Eli has seen it, and he's here to tell us all about it because it arrives in theaters today.
Yep. Ta-da.
Based on, and in fact, with some of the real people who were really part of the story.
I'm going to show you
Okay.
what started all of this.
All right.
May I introduce to you Roaring Kitty? Let's take a look.
Pardon me? Roaring Kitty.
Roaring Kitty. He
All
had
right.
a couple names online. The only one I can say here is Roaring Kitty. So that's his YouTube handle. And I think we have some viz of... There's the guy. That is Roaring Kitty. That is the real Keith Gill. He went onto YouTube and he would make these epic YouTube videos where he would recommend stocks. So here he is talking about he likes GameStop. Yeah, maybe you used to go buy your video games there. Maybe you don't remember anymore. Remember, this is 2020, the height of the pandemic. He gets online in his basement and starts making these videos. And that's exactly where the movie starts. We meet Keith. He works, he's kind of working with other people's stocks. He's an investor, but his real passion is every day he unplugs from his job, he goes into the basement, he cracks open a beer, and he starts talking to his camera. There's Shailene Woodley as his wife. And as he would say, he just likes the stock. And a lot of people liked Keith. Take a look.
Yo, what up, everybody? Roaring Kitty here. I'm gonna pick a stock and talk about why I think it's interesting, and that stock is GameStop.
I love this guy.
Retail traders have hooked into GameStop. I think they think it's a good investment. It looks like there's one guy driving all the buying.
Who is this schmuck?
Dumb money, man.
Dumb money. So now you get a sense of this David and Goliath kind of tale. On the David side, you have what they call dumb money. What are dumb money? The retail traders. Just regular people like you and I. We're buying stocks on apps, on our phones, maybe not big amounts, but there's a lot of followers. And then there's the other side, like Seth Rogen as Gabe Plotkin. There he is. And yes, Ken Offerman as Gabe's mentor, two very big billionaires who have made bets against GameStop stock. So if that stock goes down, they profit wildly. But Roaring Kitty has an army. And they're not letting go, and his follower count is growing, and so the stock is going, according to the billionaires, in the wrong direction.
So you take all of these, news headlines, all the deets about the stock, the YouTube videos, the internet forums, and then you make a movie. How do they do it, Eli?
So the director is Craig Gillespie, and he's done I, Tonya. He did the Pam and Tommy TV series about Pamela Anderson. What's the connecting thread there? True stories about people, interesting people in the middle of like these social media firestorms. And that's exactly what you get with this film. But I actually had a chance to talk to Craig Gillespie, and I asked him, well, is it the true story? Like, are you just interested in this phenomenon? No, it was his son. His son, during the pandemic, was one of the Roaring Kitty army. So he had a front row seat to see just what was happening. But the other interesting thing about how do you bring such an internet-based movie alive? Well, they basically introduce a Greek chorus of other people who are following Roaring Kitty. So you have American Ferrera as Jenny, a nurse who works in a home taking care of the elderly. She is all in and then some. You have college students who are following Roaring Kitty like a rock star. You have Anthony Ramos, who actually works at the real-life GameStop, but he sees what's happening online. So through them, we get a sense of the mania. And then things get interesting because as the Roaring Kitty army really starts to roar and that stock goes higher, the billionaires start trying to pull various levers to slow down that rise. But will the Roaring Kitty army, who have diamond hands, as they say, they won't let go, are they going to get hurt? Because, sooner or later, the bubble's going to pop.
As you said, how to make it into a movie, but how on earth what do you have in mind to cast an actor who's going to play the role of Roaring Kitty?
So this is what is so interesting, because Dano, as he plays Keith, and I think Keith in real life, there was this sweetness to him. And there was this quality that in the middle of the pandemic, remember, we were all so isolated. He stitched together this community that tried to take on Wall Street. Let's take a look.
A lot of people feel the system is broken. The whole idea of the stock market is if you're smart and maybe with a little luck you can make your fortune. Certainly not anymore. There's no hope for the little guy.
And yet he casts the guy who, the last time I saw Paul Dano, he was playing the psychotic Riddler in The Batman. Like, Dano is known for really interesting portrayals, but nothing like this. And I wouldn't have thought of him as an actor who can speak fluent meme speak, you know, really get the internet culture. So I asked the director, what did you see in Paul? Take a look.
And then I watched Paul in Swiss Army Man. And it's like sort of the naivety and the exuberance that he has in that, which is so different from some of his other characters and his other work. Yeah, obviously, amazing actor, amazing range of work, but there's this joy in it, which I could see in Keith's videos.
And you really do get that joy. If you want to get the name of that film that he discovered Paul in, it's called Swiss Army Man. Big recommend. It's strange. Daniel Radcliffe plays a bloated corpse. It's a guy stuck on an island, but it's remarkable. So big recommend on that. And I would say recommend for this movie. Now, does Dumb Money dumb down the true story of what happened? I would say yes. I think the true story is a lot more complicated. And yeah, it's David versus Goliath, but some of those Davids did lose in the end. And some of the Goliaths did okay in the end. But just to give us a sense of how this community rallied around one guy at the height of the pandemic, that's what makes this work. 3.5 stars out of 5.
Nice. You know, I've never heard the... Oh, wait.
Oh, here we go. Look at that.
Wow. 3.5. Oh, we're back with our graphics. Okay,
Very nice.
3.5 for that one. I'd even give it an even boost because that little aside, Daniel Radcliffe plays a bloated corpse. That was just kind of low key there.
Yeah. Threw it in,
Just
but
as you threw
check
it in
out.
there.
Check it out.
There's
It's a great
rule.
film.
I'll have to talk about that another time. Anyway, thank you for today.
Pleasure.
As it arrives in theaters, Dumb Money and Eli with 3.5. Thank you and see you next week.
Alrighty.